We are back. Episode 145. Almost to 150.
We're close.
Which I don't guess we're doing anything this year for it, but
not till 200.
Now
when we hit 200.
We're at the century mark. Probably 200 and then 3, 4, 5.
I saw No Laying Up just hit 1,000.
1,000.
Which is crazy. But BSG Podcast, episode 145, like Zach said. If you're new here and you're watching, I'm Casey, and this is Zach. And this is presented by our friends at Moon Golf. Shout out to Moon Golf in Auburn, Alabama, but they have stores in Florida. But they make this possible for us, and they're who we go to for all of our stuff. You should too. Go check out Moon Golf. And then there's one brand that we trust to help us look our best on the course. Who's that, Zach?
Johnny O.
Johnny O. You can tell by the clothes, a little surfer. We just locked in kind of like a little partnership with them 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
And so you'll see us wearing their stuff all throughout. And the best part is that if you want to wear it, you can go use the link on our website or in the description, and you can click and shop through that link and get 15% off your order. And they've got some good major championship gear going out right now.
I want the hoodie.
It's clean. The logo on it.
A knitted hoodie. It reminds me and Brady got the same hoodie from Pinehurst.
Oh, yeah.
When they did the Open. It's the same style. It's almost like ribbed, like a towel, it seems like. But I want it.
Go check them out. They've got some of the, I think, coolest stuff, best stuff. They've sent us some gear to wear, and I absolutely love it. And so tonight's episode, we're going to talk afterwards. We have a guest coming on, and it's going to be Christian. A lot of you may know him just as Carnhy. He works for the Bryan Bros, so we're going to have him on. And then me and Zach are going to make some major picks later because it's the PGA Championship week, and we've got to see who's winning what and our guesses. But I'm excited about Carnhy on. I guess you want to talk PGA until he hops on?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah, we'll have him on. So if you don't know, golf has 4 majors every year. We've already had the Masters. We saw Rory put that on with his green jacket. And then this week is the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow, a very well-known golf course, 7,600 yards. And I feel like 6,500 yards is long for me. I could not imagine.
As soon as we cross about 62, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I saw a thing the other day talking about how far back. Oh, there's Carnhy now.
We'll make our picks later. We're going to add Carnhy to the stage, everybody. Carnhy, what's up?
Welcome.
What up? Y'all can finish your picks. I can leave.
No.
We need your pick too.
Yeah, we'll do PGA Championship picks later. But everybody, this is Christian. But like I said, you probably know him better as Carnhy. And so we just want to kind of ask you some questions and hear about like your story getting into it. If that's good with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to share.
Cool. Well, everybody, if you don't know, Carnhy helps make the amazing content for the Bryan Bros. You hear us talk all the time on here about some of the channels that are just dominating golf right now, and Bryan Bros, I think, is in the top 2 of dominating golf right now. And they're some of my favorite guys. Yeah. And so Carnhy makes it happen, man. This is so cool to have you on. Yeah. And he's our recent hero. He saved us with some tips recently that I had no clue about. I was telling, so my sister-in-law dates Caden, the cameraman for Buster Jack, and so I was telling him, and I was saying,
small world, Caden's good dude.
Yeah, it is. And I was like, yo, Carnhy saved us. We were eating panda last week, and I said, Carnhy saved us. And I was explaining to him what you did. He was like, oh, that's so easy. You just right click. And I said, I didn't know this. And Carnhy saved my life.
Yeah, no, it's hard. There's so much stuff in the YouTube golf world and technology, like with all the tech and stuff. There's so much that you can use, but it's also niche at the same time in how we use it. Like we don't use anything like big broadcast studios do. Like we use them in weird ways. Mm-hmm. And so it's hard because there's so much that you have to learn, and there's nothing out there for it, right? It's like I've learned from people or just experimenting. Like I've never you can't look up tutorials on, hey, using tentacle sync for YouTube golf or like problem solving and like tentacle sync post-production workflow. Like even a phrase like that doesn't really help on YouTube, which is tough. So
and I mean we didn't know anything even about tentacle until we went to the Buster Jack tournament that had like 3 years ago, and Mad Jack was showing us what they use. I was like, oh, this is a game changer.
Because we had so many issues with just wind. I swear, every time we play, the wind is blowing. It can be calm before you get there, calm when you leave, but the second you step on the course, there's wind, and it's like you can't hear anything. You can only jack the audio up so much for the video. And then we saw the tentacle, and I was like, oh, this is it. This is a game changer. And we finally added a second big camera, and it's like, oh, we don't know what to do.
That's where I got confused. But Carnhy saved us. So, Carnhy, I kind of want to know, I guess we'll start from the beginning. What came first for you, golf or filmmaking?
Golf did, for sure. I played golf a ton as a kid. Both my parents worked for quite a while, and so they would pawn me off, like not pawn me off. They'd send me to my grandparents, and my grandparents were really big into golf, and they had me in camps as a kid. I was playing all the time, and then as that went on, I realized I was better at other sports than golf, and kind of just quit. And then I ended up doing track in college, and one of my buddies, I'll give him a shout out, Eldridge. He, unbelievable pole vaulter. He found a dumpster, or found a golf club in a dumpster, and decided to go hit balls in the IM fields at Colorado State. And he messaged me. I posted something on my story about golf, playing with my grandparents. He's like, "You play?" He's like, "We should play IM golf." And this was, I think, COVID year, maybe going into 2021. And we did it, signed up, did IM golf. And when I get into something, I kind of go, and so when I got back into golf, I just found out about YouTube golf. And that was like right when Good was starting, and Bryan Bros, George was just starting the channel up again, and it was starting to gain some traction. And so I kind of like dove headfirst into golf and was just all about golf, and was a big gamer in high school. This is kind of a long story, by the way. There's a lot of
weird good. We want to hear it.
Big gamer in high school and part of college, and so I was big into Discord, big into Twitch. Found out Bryan Bros had a Twitch, and I was like, no way, they live stream? That's awesome. And so I started watching their streams, and I'd be in classes, and I'd have my iPad on the floor, and I'd have the Bryan Bros stream if they were live on my iPad in like my engineering classes, because I went to school to be a software engineer and not a camera guy whatsoever. And so like, I didn't do anything creative related at all, and I was in their Discord community and in their Twitch for a long time. And then I want to probably say like 8 months after I started watching a bunch of their stuff, like hardcore and being in all the streams and everything, my leg was giving me too much trouble, quit track. My grandparents have a house in Southern California, and I went down there and was playing golf and finishing school online. And Wesley got into the American Express, which happens to be like 5 minutes from my grandparents' house. And he was going to play with John Rahm, and George couldn't fly out, and I don't think he had the time, and it just wasn't a thing worth flying out for a stream. But I was out there, I had tickets to the Amex, and I was like, hey, I'll run it. And they were like, okay, like, we know you've been in all the streams, like, we trust you, we talk to you a lot. And I went out there with my iPad and had it plugged into my laptop as a power bank in a backpack and walked around with John and Wesley for like 6 hours, streaming off the hotspot on my phone on my iPad.
That's crazy.
And we had like 400 people in there, and found out John's never had a Pop-Tart in his life and never plans on it. Just a bunch of crazy.
He's missing out.
Stuff.
Man.
It was fun.
That's wild. I didn't know that that's how you got into it with them.
Yeah, and so that went great, and obviously I had a blast, and then was like, even if I never see him again, like that was cool, right? Like I got to meet him and putting like a face to the name, and Wesley was amazing, John was awesome, and I was just like starstruck. And then a couple weeks later, I was in a stream, and at the time George was filming all their content, and they were talking about doing a video mic'd up on tour, but they didn't have anyone to film it, and it was going to be in Puerto Rico, and it was just kind of like a weird idea. And I still had George's number from when he had texted me about the stream stuff, and I texted him, and I was like, hey, I'll buy my plane ticket. If I have a place to stay, I'll buy it. I'll come hang out, and I'm happy to film it. Like, full disclosure, I've never touched a camera before, basically, but I'll do it. And he talked to Wesley, and I guess they're like, yeah, sure, we'll just let this kid come hang out for a week. And hopefully film some good stuff. And so lo and behold, we flew down to Puerto Rico, and I got there on Tuesday. George showed up Wednesday or no, I got there Monday. George showed up Tuesday. Filmed 9 holes on Wednesday for practice, and then Thursday through Sunday filmed. And the videos turned out good, and they were like, hey, great. And filming on George's old A7 III Cinetone, if it even has Cinetone, I don't remember, because the log is 8-bit, which now is awful. But didn't film anything in the log, and filmed everything just normal, and just kind of filmed stuff and did good. And then they called me randomly like 3 weeks later. I didn't basically hear from them after that. I was just still in the streams and everything. They FaceTime me like, hey, we need someone in South Carolina for 2 weeks. Can you come? And I was doing school online, a software engineering internship online, and about to graduate school. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. And just kind of like threw everything to the side and go film for 2 weeks. It's where I met Stack for the first time, met Grant for the first time, met Micah for the first time. And then after that, they kind of just kept asking me to come film. I said, sure. I've still never touched editing in my life, and never touched Premiere, never touched any Adobe products. And um, sure enough, they were just kind of like, oh yeah, like you want to like throw some random things together or try. I was like, okay, and put some stuff together. It was really, really bad. I still have that video. Actually, the first thing I ever edited on like 4 holes. Just funny to watch. But I was doing software full time after I graduated and filming for them. So I'd be coding in the morning on trips from like 4 to 7 or like 5 to 8, go film, come home, code at night. And then I did that for about 7 months. And then finally, around fall of 2023, I started doing the Bryan Bros TV stuff. We started Bryan Bros TV as a way for me to have a way to learn how to edit. And shout out to Wesley because it's a lot of work to film extra videos on top of Bryan Bros and his playing schedule. He found a way to make opportunities for us to go film matches with some of his friends or instructional stuff. So I had pieces of content to edit. And then February of 2024 is when I started editing full time. And then
I was just gonna ask, was that a tough decision to put the software stuff down and do this?
Not really. I mean, it was hard, right? Because this was just like taking a chance on something, right? Like, hey, there's how many people that do what I do for a living? Like 6, 7.
Yeah.
That do this like full time. And so it's like it's such a small opportunity, and obviously they took a big chance on me. And I had moved out to South Carolina at that point. Like I was planning on being with them. I moved in August of 23. I quit my software job in November of 23. So I had moved out there, and I was still doing it. And then that way I was local and so I was doing Bryan Bros TV, filming and editing, filming Bryan Bros, and working a software job all at the same time.
Slammed busy every day.
That's wild. It's hard for me to even get one video out because I feel like I'm overwhelmed with a full-time job. I could imagine that.
And so, yeah, it was a lot. It was obviously worth it. And at that point I was like, yeah, like I'm the software stuff for me. Like obviously my boss wasn't gonna watch this now, but like I could do 40 hours of work in 15 hours and they would be happy with it. And so it was one of those things where it was like, okay, like it's not challenging, right? And shout out to Jordan, who's the head of creation over at BPN, Bear Performance Nutrition. He was talking to me. I was just on a call with him recently. He's a good dude. We were just catching up.
You talking about with Nick Bear?
His creative director.
Bro, so I've watched him on YouTube for a long time. Nick, I watched Nick.
Yeah, Jordan was making all the YouTube stuff a couple years ago. He was like their first creative hire.
Yeah.
And he's an awesome guy. And he was talking about how like complacency and stability, and there's some other stuff like how you can breed creativity. I would butcher it if I tried to say it. But basically, I was super complacent, right? And there was stability. And so it was like, it's easy for me to get my work done. It didn't take much, but it wasn't challenging. So it was bored, and you burn out like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, like I want to do something more than this. Moved out, and then Alex, who was editing for us, He does a bunch of really cool motion graphic stuff, and he does a lot of helicopter video stuff now. He was editing for the Bryan Bros, and then it just kind of worked out that he didn't really have the time for it anymore, and I had trained up through Bryan Bros TV, and so he just kind of made this swap in 24, and then I've kind of just been learning ever since. Like I meet with a thumbnail guy. I started doing those about 3 months ago. Meet with like a professional colorist, and like just constantly just trying to improve my knowledge on kind of what it takes. Like the gear stuff is where I thrive the most. Like all the research I've done on that and everything. Like people don't know, but we didn't start using Tentacle probably up until I want to say June of 24.
Yeah.
So like the first ever major cut that we did, I think maybe the first two. I think Pinehurst and Kiowa, maybe just Kiowa. We didn't do Tentacle. We edited those without Tentacle.
Oh.
So it's like you take your A cam clips, put them in a bunch, B cam, and then like drone and like cart cam stuff, and you just drag over one A cam, one B cam, find a point, sync them. Cut that
Oh
clip.
gosh.
I do not miss that. Yeah, that's wild.
And so like the first one or two major cuts were edited like that, and just some other stuff. And it's so crazy to see how complex it's gotten now. I'm kind of going on a random side
No,
road.
you're good. We love it. I love the tech talk. One of the things that sticks out most to me with Bryan Bros too is like y'all do the, like you were talking about earlier, the Twitch. Like nobody else is doing that really. The live matches stuff. Is that something you think y'all are gonna keep doing?
The name of the game for us right now is time. And it is so hard to find time for stuff. And I'm no longer South Carolina based. I'm back home in Idaho. I moved back a couple weeks ago. But we have Cam down there, our second shooter, and our photographer and everything, who he helps run those. But having family, it's like we're on the road a lot. And Wesley has his 3 kids. And so when he's home, he's trying to be the best dad he can because he's gone so much. Same with George. He has his 2 kids and his wife and their whole little community down in Aiken. And so when we're home, it's hard for them to also be like, okay, I'm willing to go commit 4 hours to this, George 6, if he's going to drive up to Salina and back to stream. But we do have some cool stuff coming. George is building a shed in his backyard. We're documenting all that. It's going to go on Bryan Bros TV. But he's building a simulator out there. Wesley has his in his garage, and they're going to do some simultaneous streams.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, I like that.
And so they're going to do some like live matches through simulators and stuff. Obviously, the encore stuff's more fun, but I think the simulator stuff makes more sense because I've looked and there's nothing you can really do for zoom tracers live. And if I'm being honest, watching golf without tracers is terrible.
Yeah.
And so
it's hard to follow it if you're not like a true golf fan where you know like the shot shapes and stuff. If you ever just turn, you're like, oh, I don't even know where that's going. Is that a good shot? Because all the pros, like the real good guys, every ball when it comes off the face, it looks like it just goes hard right, and you're like, oh, that's gone, and then it's just a baby draw the whole way.
That's what we used early. We used Shot Tracer, and then Caden was like, "Bro, I can show you a quick, easy way to do it now. That's not all that." And so I'm waiting on him to show me, but he's talking about After Effects and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'll send you a link. I'm the one that sent them the tutorial that they have.
Oh, we're ready. Sign us up for your class.
It's in the master class.
Yeah, I've got the old Carnhy tutorial and like all my presets and stuff for it.
Oh yeah, that's a game changer.
That's the thing I hate the most about YouTube golf is like gatekeeping of information, right? Like there's things people can do to make their videos unique. Like for us, and what I'm trying to transition to is coloring different than most people. And you'll see that with Quail that comes out tomorrow is kind of my first rendition of like a show LUT that you lay over top of all the footage that kind of adds a look to it. I've spent like the last week and change developing something with a guy over in the UK for that. So we'll see how that feedback is. But I think having like a look or your editing style and your pacing to make your videos different is great. But it's like having a specific tracer, like our second tracer being the dot, like the ball, people seem to love that, like from like Mario Golf.
Yeah.
And it's something where I'm like, it's cool, it makes us unique. But if someone else were to do that, like it wouldn't bug me. Like I'm happy if people want to do that. obviously people will be like, oh, you stole that from the Bryan Bros. But me as a creative, I don't care. And it's like the gatekeeping of information and stuff, I don't think is great. Like I wouldn't be where I'm at without help from other people. And like if all the information that I learned was gate kept, obviously I wouldn't know anything, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like for me, that's something for anyone out there. Like I don't get that many DMs, but if people shoot me DMs, I answer them every time. Like, hey, how do you do this, or how do you
Well, we're thankful.
do this, or like, hey, what's the best way to do this, or what would you recommend gear wise? Like I have this, and this. Am I missing anything? And people ever send me these, I'm happy to help because I wouldn't be where I am without people doing the same thing for me. So that's something.
Do you feel a pressure? Because when I think YouTube golf, I think Bryan Bros and Grant, and then Bryson. Those are the three like that I think.
Yeah.
But do you feel a pressure being like one of them top creators? Like you have to constantly be trying to think of something different, so you're not just in a rhythm, or have you kind of found like something y'all like and you're kind of flowing with it?
I mean, obviously, there's like we have one-off ideas where it's like, hey, we want to do something cool, and I'm blessed enough to work for two creators where they're incredible at golf. And
yeah, I wish we always say our content would be so much better if we were better.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like obviously our production value is high, right? Like Cam does a great job on BCam. I do my best with ACam and editing and everything. And I feel like there's definitely you could take exactly how I edit, put it on something less entertaining, and it's not going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Like it still would be hard because it's hard to polish something that's not like perfect. But for us, it's like how do we play great courses and really good golfers, or how do we play a course that's awful and really good golfers? It's like what would a PGA professional shoot at my home course? Like the Pine Tuck video we did was a blast. Like that place was awesome, super raw, and the ability to go and showcase George and Wesley's game as Wesley's preparing for a tour event the next week. It's like he's in tour ready shape. Hey, what's he gonna go shoot at this local place? Like the bunkers are grass.
Yeah. Or just mud.
But I mean, I didn't really answer your question, but there's not really pressure to think of new things. It's like we kind of know what we are, right? We're not trying to be something we're not.
Yeah.
And I feel like that, like obviously there's times where you can. Like there was an interview with Patty Galloway. I don't know if you guys watched it with Colin and Samir, and he was talking about YouTube statistics, and he was saying like, hey, every like 1 in every 8 videos, or 1 in every 10, or like if you want to use like your 1 out of 10 system or whatever, do something that's you like not you, do something unique, and see if it sticks, see if it doesn't.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like knowing who you are and what your content identity is good. It's like a good thing. So it's like we're not trying to push into like doing some like crazy challenges or whatever it may be, because that's not really who we are. And so it's like we're kind of secure in the fact that we know that we're good golfers, and ultimately it's going to be hard to find really good golf with the dynamic that George and Leslie have of giving each other such a hard time.
Yeah.
One of the favorite things I like now that you're doing, and one of the most recent videos, you have the foresight on the bottom.
Oh, that's so clean.
I think it's such a nice thing for me to see for like good golfers. Nobody would want to see ours. Are you taking a picture, or does the foresight record the numbers every time?
So they have an app, and George will start a session on every tee box, and then we'll kind of record that data.
Okay. We were curious about. I said it's got to be something where it's recorded because it's so accurate. You'd hate to have to take a phone out and take a picture every time.
Yeah, or it's in post, like after they hit in between like the next shot, everyone's like, all right, take a second, and then I show the camera the screen. And then when I'm going through and editing the video in post, I'll write it down in my notes app. And so I'll be like George 1 drive, and I'll write down the numbers, and then jump back and forth. But then
I'm a fan. It looks so good.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff like I love seeing that kind of stuff too, because that's one of those things like you don't see on a lot of people's videos, and so I like that.
Yeah, they've been a great partner for sure.
I fully expect to see Bryson add that on his because it looks so good.
Yeah, it is great. I'm working on a different like design for it right now. Like I just kind of took screenshots of the individual parts and animated it in After Effects and made it like a motion graphic template.
Oh,
so
man.
like all this stuff's like all the numbers are just adjustable, so you can just use it in Premiere, just drag it over. Put numbers,
that's
drag
so
it over,
nice.
put numbers.
Yeah.
But it's definitely still a very rudimentary design, and we can do something cooler with it. But I mean, it works for now. Our concern was mostly like, hey, is this too busy, right? Like you have the top right graphic, you have the tracer, you have other stuff popping up. And so as obviously attention spans get shorter, maybe that is helpful, but also we're kind of contributing to the problem where it's like,
you're trying to look at everything on the screen. No, I'm a fan of it. Like kind of like you said a while ago about the 1 out of 10 videos being different. I absolutely love anything that No Laying Up puts out, just because for the fact that, and I was talking to people about this. I was like, it's just they're good storytellers. Like when they do their strap series or other videos, and like I would love to do a video like that, but I cannot tell a story like that. And I'm like, that's just something that they stick out because they're kind of in their own group of YouTube golf with that. There's not many people.
It's their own niche.
Yeah, sure. It's just the storytelling, but I'd love to get into that. But I was like, I don't know how to tell a story like that.
But I mean, that's the hard thing is obviously you don't know till you start, right? Like their first videos like that aren't as amazing, right? Like, and for me, sometimes I love that, to be honest. Like the strap series with Max Homa, like I'll go back when I'm bored and I'll go watch those 2 or 3 videos. Granted, because I'm just a big fan of Max.
Yeah.
But like those videos to me, even if they're not best production, are awesome. Like I'm a massive fan of those.
It just feels
and
raw, I guess.
yeah, it's super raw, but like the creativity is a muscle, basically, as weird as that sounds. And like for me, YouTube Golf's a formula. Being an engineer, like I have a formula for how I edit my videos, like how much B cam's included and like what B cam shots are used when. Like I try to make sure things don't repeat. Like I don't use the same L cuts every time. Like, oh, we cut, they're talking, cut to B cam, and then cut to A cam and they hit. Like sometimes I'll do an L cut from A cam to A cam, or I'll do A cam, show the full shot, or it's A cam, and mid shot, cut to B cam, cut back. It's like there's so many different things you can do. That's all kind of a formula. Whereas like for me, my struggle is like short form, like flashy stuff. That's a totally different creative muscle. Same thing with storytelling. It's a creative muscle. And like my buddy Sam Huff, who does a lot of like Roback stuff, and he's a like freelance video guy. He does all the major cut intros for us now. I was talking to him about that yesterday, actually, and it's kind of that same thing where it's like, hey, it's a muscle. Like you just like I don't use my short form like flashy muscle, so it's like creativity. I can't hear a lot. It's like it's scary. So I'm like I don't feel like I know what I'm doing.
What other than of course Wesley and George, who's been some of your favorite people that y'all done some videos with that you just thought, oh, this was super neat?
Luke Kwan's an awesome guy. I want to have him back on the channel soon, for sure.
Yeah.
He's a really cool dude. He's a blast. He's just nice, fun to hang out with. I mean, obviously Grant and Sky, like Grant or Sky's in my wedding. He's like one of my best friends on this planet. And so like doing stuff with them is such a blessing. Like we talk all the time. The people over at like Peter's team.
Oh yeah.
Peter Finch's guys are awesome. Like Jacob over there, I think he's one of their head leads. And then my buddy Kieran over there who edits a lot of stuff for them. Like that team is such a fun group of people to hang out with. And then obviously the Bob guys. Like we haven't shared a house with the Bob guys or anything, but when we do get to spend time with them, like that crew is incredible. Like they're special for sure.
Do you get to play much golf now?
I probably haven't played an actual round of golf in 3-4 months.
Oh man.
Last time I hit a golf ball was on the range at Quail. On like before major cut when they were on the back of the range. Like I hit some irons. Like I work a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then when I'm not working, like I'm trying to be back at home and spending time with my fiance and like actually doing like the life part of stuff.
Yeah.
And again, golf's great, and I'd love to go play it more, but it's one of those things where like I'm choosing between spending time with her, like going to the range. I'm gonna spend time with her every time because it's like
Yeah.
that's just not something I get on the road.
Smart
I
man.
watch golf anyway.
You so when y'all film a video, say you go film one on a Thursday or whatever, what's your schedule like leading up to putting it out? Is it like sit down and do y'all have a rough editor, or do you start and do it
I
all?
do everything.
Okay. And so you just kind of work through it hole by hole, or do you break it into groups or?
So I like my rough cut and my final cut are basically the same thing.
Okay.
I'll have Cam proof watch stuff and make sure like I didn't randomly leave something in or like graphics are right. But like for the Broom's Edge video match at South Carolina's newest course that we filmed that on a Friday and put that out on Monday.
Oh my gosh. Turn that around that quick. Did you did you fly back to Idaho and put that up?
I stayed on Cam's couch. So we got back Friday. I pulled all the footage on Friday and then said I'm dead because we walked 18 holes. I'm tired. Like organized everything, put the technical sync map together, and then called it quits. And then edited, I want to say 14 holes on Saturday.
That's wild.
And then I probably could, like, if I really, really, really had to, and I worked for probably like 18 hours, I could probably put together an entire video in a day.
Are you?
But
so you're doing everything, tracers, graphics, like you're putting all that together?
Cam does our tracers. I put in all the graphics, I lay in all the music, I color grade everything because we shoot everything in log. And then I cut up everything, and then Cam does tracers, and he'll proof watch stuff.
So that's another thing we haven't even touched yet is color grading. I know it's important because I can tell it in videos. It's just by the time I cut a video up and I've got hundreds of little pieces, I'm not wanting to go through and color. I know you can copy and paste, a lot of them are the same, but I haven't even touched that yet. The thought of color grading a video.
My full process for anyone out there that's for everyone out there that wants to edit YouTube golf stuff. Like, so I'll take the footage, I'll make the sync map, I'll bring it in, I'll go find a quote unquote like hero shot, right? Like something I feel that represents our day best for A cam and B cam. I'll go grade those clips extensively, make sure they're exactly how I want them to be, and I'll copy that grade to every single clip before I edit anything. And then I'll go to hole one, and then I'll just start cutting, right? Like I'll start making the video, I'll start making like pulling up the things for tracers and everything, and then I'll just cut through, and then it's funny because Sky does this the exact opposite, but I'll cut all the way through. I don't lay in any graphics, I don't lay in any music, I don't lay in anything. Like I cut the whole thing, and then I'll go back through, I'll lay graphics, I'll lay music, and then I'll lay in tracers at the end. So I lay everything at the end. Versus Sky, when he's editing, he lays in the music and the top right score graphics while he's cutting the video.
Man, it's crazy
he'll do
how
the same thing I do with color. He'll color it before.
Yeah, that's smart. I didn't even think about it because once they're still full clips, it's easier to color grade it. See, I'm learning. See, if everybody's listening, this podcast may benefit us more than anybody.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah, same.
I'm paying attention.
I'm learning. This is like, I don't know if people understand, but this is like if you're a professional athlete and you're getting to talk to, somebody at a high level professional athlete. That's what we're getting right now. So appreciate you even giving us this time.
Obviously, that's what I'm here for. I'm happy to help. Like, I'd like to think that my job isn't because I'm like the most productive person ever. It's because of like my understanding or like why I have the job that I have. Other than they put faith in me and they're like, all right, like this is our guy. Like we know he's gonna ride with us forever. But it's like my actual understanding of like pacing and like the small details that fit us best. But it's like for anything like workflow and other stuff, like if someone can take my job because their workflow is better than mine, then I don't deserve my job. So it's like for workflow, for me, it's like when you grade all the clips like that, then when you're going back through and you're cutting it, if something doesn't look right, it's easier in that moment to make yourself go, hey, I'm going to fix this really quick. and not I'm going to grade everything at the end, and you have to watch through the whole video. So
Yeah.
when you're doing 2 passes, you do a blanket grade at the beginning. Then as you're cutting, you're already doing a pass, so you can grade it while you're passing. And then
That's so
like for
smart.
Sky, that's how he does the top rights when he's going through, is that way you don't have to go do another pass. But like for me, I need that extra pass with the graphics because when I'm cutting and I have to go back and lay graphics on a hole, even though I'm not losing time, I feel like I'm losing my pacing. Like I'll lose the pacing of how I'm cutting because I'll forget and I'll be like, oh, how quick were those last cuts versus when I'm
Oh, yeah.
cutting and I just keep cutting. I feel like I'm able to keep pacing how I want to.
You have a
So I don't
third.
have to go back and keep watching steps.
Yeah. You have a certain, like, I'm trying to keep every video 18 holes at this many minutes, or you just let it play out?
I mean, it just depends on how much good banter there is, right? Like, obviously, I know roughly how long videos are going to be, but it's like if there's some great moments where it's like, hey, just let the camera roll.
Yeah.
And then the video is 5 minutes longer, so be it. It's going to be better off. Everyone's going to be better off for it. Versus, like, I feel like the worst thing you can do is handicap yourself into thinking, hey, everyone else's videos are this long. I need to make it this long. Because everyone has different reasons for videos being as long as they are. Like for us, we have like our matches used to be under an hour, and now they usually creep over an hour because it's like there's just funnier stuff that's happening. And as we've added Cam to the team, he's hilarious, and he just introduces more funny moments, or he'll bring more funny moments out of George and Wesley. And so it's like our videos change, but if I was like, oh, like I don't know if our matches could be over an hour, I'd probably make myself cut some things that ultimately I think people would rather enjoy seeing.
Yeah.
We just added a cameraman. For the longest, we've just set it up on a tripod, and there's just me and him working it. And now we have a cameraman, and I feel like our content is so much better because you get more of us together on camera,
Like natural.
and the and Miles, our camera guy. So it's all just natural flow. I think it's so much better content than just shot, little talk, shot.
A million times better. And that's something Wesley's talked about for a time or two is when he's been talking to people about YouTube. He's like, hey, I feel like our brand really elevated when we added a person behind the camera because then you're developing a relationship. I mean, with the audience, right? But it's like actually talking to a camera and not moving. It's like, hey, you're a person. You're moving, not like a stationary tripod. Because it's weird if you're kind of sitting there and you just kind of like lean down and you're both talking to a tripod.
Yeah.
Versus like having something eye level.
I've got just a few more questions for you. One, I want to know from your take. This is something that I always think about is we love making golf content, whether it becomes full time or not. Like we just love doing it. But do you think golf content creation, this YouTube world, like do you think it's gonna last, or do you think at some point it's gonna begin to have to change or fade out?
I mean, I truly don't know. It's hard because it's evolved so much, right? As technology's evolved, you look at YouTube golf videos where people are they were splitting 6-hole matches, dude, 3 holes on channels, right? And now it's like I almost feel like if it's not an 18-hole video, people don't watch it.
Yeah.
Which is weird. And I think it'll slowly revert back to like 9-hole stuff or splitting 18-hole videos, 9 holes, and some other stuff. I think it will revert back to that at some point. But I think it's here to stay, right? And it's one of those things where I think that niche has built itself up to where there's a couple creators with over 1 million subscribers, right? Like it's not the world's biggest niche, but it's a niche for a sport that continues to grow. I think it's just going to be a revolving, not like a revolving door, but the personalities are going to change.
Yeah.
Eventually, like that's just how it's going to be. Your audience grows up, right? Like eventually Grant's audience will grow up and he'll probably start taking some of our audience. It's more that like grown up person, right? And it's like there's going to be a creator that the next generation gravitates towards, right? And I hope it's us. Like I hope it's Bryan Bros. And I hope they find a way to resonate with us by that point. George and Wesley being in their 40s.
Yeah.
Like I hope they resonate with us, right? Like, but at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like there's gonna be another creator that young golfers resonate with, and it may continue to be Grant, it may not. Like that's just kind of the cycle of creation and golf creation, especially in like YouTube creation. But I don't think the niche is just gonna randomly fizzle out, and there's not gonna be YouTube golf anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping.
I mean,
We're on year 4, and I think this is our biggest year yet. So I'm hoping in the next. My goal is like January of 27 to turn in a notice and be like, hey, let's go at it full time.
yeah,
Because
I mean,
I don't think it's going anywhere. I think there may be different things you have to change, like you're saying, like from 18 hole matches back to 9 hole, or you always have to have a guest on or something like that, something to keep it fresh. But I don't think it's going anywhere. I watch more YouTube than outside of like playoffs. I don't watch TV anymore.
No, most people don't. And I mean, I do a ton of research just into YouTube itself as a whole. Like in my spare time, it's just all research, whether it's camera or whatever. Like I'm always just like learning. But for YouTube stuff, I don't remember where I heard it, but someone was talking about like YouTube is like where people are consuming more content on YouTube than anywhere else in the world, almost basically combined, like Netflix, TV, etc. You name it, like people are consuming YouTube. And so it's one of those things where you're having to try to find a way to stay ahead of the curve and or create trends or follow those trends like very closely. And that's why it's hard for me is like watching other YouTube golf creators, right? Like everyone's ideas come off of other people's ideas. Like it's very hard to make original stuff now, but there's a lot of spin-off stuff. And so it's like watching more and more creators and grabbing spin-off ideas from them is how people are going to stay ahead in the game. Wesley's amazing with that. Wesley's brain for like creative stuff is the best. Like he is a genius, creative genius for sure. But I mean, I think it was the Masters this year. Like they had their highest ratings ever or something like that. As people gravitate away from TV and towards YouTube and the game continues to grow, it's one of those things where it's like the niche is just going to keep getting bigger, which is cool because it provides more people opportunity to do this full time. Because as much as there's hard spots when you're pulling an all-nighter, you're on a 50-hour week and you still have 3 days left in the week and you're like, how am I still working? Like those moments are terrible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like getting to call this my job is a blessing. And I think more people having the opportunity to also call this their job would be great.
Yeah. Last thing I want to ask you for everybody out there that's maybe interested like we are, what gear are y'all using right now for Bryan Bros?
So we right now our main camera is a Z200 Sony camcorder. Sky put that on my radar back in August. We pre-ordered it. First video we ever shot with that, we butchered it so badly, was Major Cut Chambers Bay. Got it 2 days before Chambers Bay. Went to Chambers Bay, just kind of off the cuff, trying to figure it out on the fly. Like we had a guy from B&H on a phone call in the cart at Chambers, like on a conference video and stuff. But anyway, that camera's treated us great. We shoot S-Log3 on that, and then my own personal FX6 is what we use as the B cam. I found a really good deal on one on Facebook Marketplace. Took out a loan from my grandpa. Said, hey, I need to buy this.
Yeah.
I had like 18 hours on it. There was a guy dropping out of cinema school, and it was like $3,800, and they're like $6 or $7 brand new.
Man.
And so jumped on that. So that's our B cam, mostly shot on the 7200 GM Mark II Sony lens. We have a backup for that as what we were using before, our A7S3, and same lens. And then cart cam stuff is the DJI Action 4. I didn't really see any use in upgrading to the 5. And then occasionally we'll use the Osmo Pocket, but for the most part, it's and then the Mavic 3 Pro. Mavic 4 just got released today, actually.
I saw it. It looks so good, but you can't see it from the US site.
Nope. I have friends in Canada, so I'm hopeful. But see if I can pull off some magic there and see if we can make that happen. But I would love to get my hands on it. But as it stands right now, like Mavic 3, shooting in normal D-Log, not D-Log M, and then you shooting in D-Log M on the DJI Action 4 for our cart cams. And then we are using the shooting in S-Log 3 on the FX6 and Z200. And then for mics, we just upgraded to the Senken Cos 11 we're also using the Tentacle mic packs, the trackies, but using the Senken Cause 11D for our main 2 mics for George and Wesley, and then our secondary mics and backup mics for like caddies on major cuts, and then Cam and myself, if we mic up, are the Sennheiser MKE2s.
So y'all tested it. Y'all figured out what you like and don't like, and
yeah, we've done a lot of testing. We actually, and this is so overkill, and people are going to give us such a hard time for this, but it's also just because it's kind of cool. We now on the FX6 have a wireless transmitter from my camera to that, and a monitor on the FX6, so Cam can see what I'm filming at all times to make sure we're not filming.
That's sick. That is sick.
Which is great. And there's times where we'll be filming the same thing, and he doesn't realize it, and I'm like, hey, we both don't need to be filming this.
Yeah.
Or like we'll be getting the same angle of something, and it's just kind of a reference guide for him to be like, oh, that's what, because I always want people to play to me and play to the A cam. And so for him, like, I'm like, hey, they're always going to play to me. Like, let's make sure we're not filming the same thing.
That's crazy. So he can make sure he's not in your shot. He can make
and he
sure.
Can make sure I'm not. Yeah, he can make sure he's
that
in the
is
shot.
Wow, that's so cool.
And that's the thing too, is like we'll be on greens, and there's times where it's hard to know when you're out of the camcorder, right? You're like, oh, I think I'm out. You're not. And so for him to be able to see, oh, I'm in the shot, I'm not in the shot, and oh, I'm filming the same thing or I'm not, was something where we were kind of like, hey, I kind of brought it to them. I was like, hey, I think this is a worthwhile investment. I know it's a little bit of money, and I know it's ridiculous, but I think it'll help in the long run.
Yeah, that's so next level.
That's kind
Have
of
y'all ever tried any of the GoPros for the cart cams? I swear every time we start to have luck with it, one of them will have some issue where it just won't come on. The batteries are dead. It won't connect to the tentacle. It's always random. I'm always telling Casey, I said, let's just switch to the DJI, the next one we buy.
Yeah. I mean, I know Sky still uses a GoPro when he's not with us. If, like, for me, like the Phil and Grant stuff, like I'll come out and help shoot those. And so we'll use my cart cams, or same with the major cut, we'll use my cart cams. But when I'm not there, he's using his GoPro. And it works fine. He's one of the newer ones, and obviously like a new media mod and stuff. But something we ran into when Bryan Bros had a GoPro before we switched was the media mod. Sometimes when you like go to plug stuff in and put it back
won't pick it up. Yeah.
Sometimes the media mod's not plugged in all the way, or it won't plug in like pick up signals.
Had that several times.
We've had enough issues with it, and we got burned a couple times. We had no audio on a full video.
Yes.
Yep. Zach knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because we've done it, and we've replaced them. We've used the warranty, because we'll buy them from like Costco, because you can get the newest one for $300. We have all the attachments.
Yeah,
and then we'll go to
cheaper than that
now. Yeah, and we'll go to, because you don't check it during round. I mean, now we do, but you get home, you pull it, and there'd be 4 hours, and you see us talking, and there's no sound, and it's like, well, that's a waste.
Yeah,
I don't have any banner or anything all day.
Yeah, the hard thing, and Wesley and George both give me a hard time. They call me a tinkerer. Like, Carney, quit tinkering with stuff. Is I'll be like I'll be like adjusting their mic position on their shirt, or I'll be checking the cart cam and making sure that the green bar is popping up so the tentacle's there. Or like I'll be going into their cart and like the cine arms, I guess are what those are called, like the things mounted onto on the suction cup. Like I'll be tightening that, making sure it's tight.
Yeah. Make sure the cam don't fall forward. And
like, what are you tinkering with this time? I'm like, I'm just trying to like make sure it's all good. But it's because of those experiences that I do that, right? Like where we've had like the tentacle not plug into the action cam, right? Or like something was like slightly unplugged, or the thing wasn't popping up, and so they're recording all the cart cams. We have the footage, but I have no idea where it goes, and it wastes hours of my time trying to go put it back in. And like we've just had enough one-off things happen to where now I'm just always like a little paranoid, and I'll check stuff. And for me, it's fine because that's my job. But as being someone that like you guys, where it's like, hey, we're handling everything. Like it's nice to have the peace of mind knowing that your equipment's gonna do what you want it to do. Because it's hard to like actually lock into what the golf and the like talent side of things when every time you get into the cart or out of the cart, you're like, are the bars there? Are they not
Yeah,
there?
just want to check. You're right.
It's constant pause, and then you play. You hear the noise. You're like, okay, we're
Yeah,
good.
you just gotta hear that weird noise, and you're like, okay, we're doing good.
The thing that haunts your nightmares.
Yeah.
The chemical screech.
Yeah, that little screech. The first time I heard it, I thought, oh, I done messed something up, and I was so. But then I realized I was supposed to do that. That's a good thing.
George did the same thing. The first match we ever used it on was DoD King and Pause King, the 2v2. And George was filming some like, in case you're gonna use it for an intro, like the kind of like arms cross thing that everyone does like in the slow mo. And he went to go play it back for them to go look at it, and just full blast on the A7S3 tentacle noise. And he just runs over and he's like, Carnhy, like what happened? Like it's okay, George, it's fine, I promise. Like that's what this is. And,
yeah. Man, well, hey, we appreciate you coming on and taking the time to talk to us, Carney, and
absolutely,
and sharing some of your tips and secrets with us. And I know the one
You'll
thing I'm
probably have
taking
the
away
best
from
tip
this
from us for this workflow and
the color grading
production help.
Color grading is something I'm definitely taking from this conversation that I'll be doing for sure.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it though, Carney. Thanks for coming on though.
Absolutely.
Who do you have picked to win this week? That's the last question.
Who do I have picked to win this week? It's hard. I don't even really keep up with professional golf anymore, which sounds terrible.
You can say Scotty, Roy, or Bryson. I'm sure one of them three will win.
I know. One of the three will win. Obviously, Scotty would be a good pick because he was just on Grant's channel, and all the stuff I heard from Sky, like he's even a better person off camera than he is on.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, he's incredible. Let's see, sleeper pick. I'm not gonna pick one of those guys. I like Xander.
Xander going back to back.
Is a good pick.
That's a good one.
Xander or Colin.
Oh yeah.
I wish Colin would.
That'd be a good one. So y'all heard it here from Carney. Lock it in with Carney. Those are your picks to lock in. Is the one that
yeah. And the guy that doesn't watch golf.
Yeah.
Hey, look, all you got to do, you check the Vegas odds, and if it's top 5, you're good.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we appreciate it, Carney. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Thank you. See ya.
All righty. I'll send you all that tracer link.
Oh, that'd be great.
Sounds great.
I got you.
Thank you.
All right, I'll see you.
All right, well, that was Carney with Bryan Bros. Loved having him on. Maybe our video value is about to go way up.
I hope so. So knowledgeable. It's one of them. He starts talking. You can see the wheels start spinning.
Yeah, and he's just so creative. And when thinking of the transmitting his camera to the monitor, I was like, oh, that's the next level. That's so smart. So anyways, that's Carney. You can follow Carney on Instagram. You can go watch the Bryan Bros. He said a new video coming out tomorrow. When you're listening to this, it'll be today, the day you're listening to it. So go check out Bryan Bros. Carney gets all that going. Thanks again for coming on. We'll wrap this episode up real quick with our picks for Quail Hollow. I myself am going with Zach's favorite golfer in the whole world. Give me Bryson DeChambeau. That's my guy for this week.
I think he's a fantastic pick. I think Rory's hot. I think it's Rory's year. I said in our group chat earlier, he claims 2 majors this year.
Hey, I'm not gonna be mad if he does. I've made my apology video. I'm at peace with it. So whatever happens, happens. But that's it for episode 145. Thanks to Carney again, and we'll see y'all next Monday. We have another great guest coming on next Monday, and so we'll see y'all then. Peace.